everyone, and welcome back to Amity Blue. My name is Nazi, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my collection of junk journals that I have created for my Etsy shop. This time I'm trying something new. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like this. I'm separating the journals into 3 categories, so standard, personal, and pocket, and I'm going to be uploading 3 separate videos all at the same time. So let me know if you guys like this or if I should just do it the old-fashioned way. I'm trying some different things out just so that the process of getting one of my journals is a lot easier. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the first couple of journals. I was really inspired. I was kind of in a journaling funk throughout December and I didn't really create any journals. And I started watching so many amazing and talented people. I just fell in love with their journals, you know, the amount of love that they put, amount of love and detail. Of course, Nik the Booksmith, I've mentioned her in a couple of videos back. Her journals are just amazing, filled with history, and just have a bunch of vintage lusciousness. As well as, I don't know if I've been living under a rock, but I just now recently found out the Paper Addiction's YouTube channel. She also makes amazing journals and she has so many great ideas. And then also Sigita. I'll link her channel below as well. The amount of detail that she puts into her journals is unbelievable. Terri Pike inspired me as well. She has a couple videos of her junk journals. And there was another lady, I can't remember her name, but all of the people that have inspired me to kind of come out of my comfort zone and not be afraid of my sewing machine. I will link all of their channels below. Please go check them out and show them some love. They deserve all of the recognition for their talent. This collection, I became friends with my sewing machine finally. In the beginning, I was really scared to use it, but it's just practice, you guys. As long as you keep practicing, even if you mess up, just keep doing it. I know it can be kind of stressful, but now I love sewing. I think I've gotten pretty good at it. I want to make everything. I want to make my own curtains. I want to make my own like bed sheets. I think I'm addicted to it now. So let's move on to the fairy journals. Now I know this is always you guys' favorite journals. The fairy journals, ever since I started making junk journals about a year ago, I always have included the fairy image on the front of my journals, just because the fairy to me symbolizes what really began Amity Bloom. Like back when I was 6 years old, my mother, she graciously gifted me a book called Fairyopolis that just brought me and showed me how journaling can be used. So ever since I started, I always made it a priority to include at least one fairy image, but this time I decided to create 2 journals that are specifically fairy themed. So this is the first fairy journal that I created. The color scheme that I went for was yellow and green, since that was the color of the fairy image that I chose. All of these images come from a set of fairy books that I have collected, and they're the real pages from that actual book. So it is kind of hard at parting with them, but I thought, you know, I want to spread that love of fairies with everyone else, and so I thought what a better way than put them on the front of my covers. So on the inside, there's always a pocket on the front. Here I decided to make a lace tuck spot. I included one of these, a little pin with a charm. If you do not know her already, which I'm sure a lot of you do, Miss Woolyjibid, she gifted to me, so graciously gifted to me, a journal where she included paper clips and they had charms at the end of the paper clip. And I thought that was genius. I was completely inspired by her, so I decided to add a little charm and some sequins just to make it a little bit more ethereal. And then in here I created a fabric tag that just says fairy. I put this fabric through my typewriter and it actually transferred really well. So I had some fun with my sewing machine and I created a tag made entirely out of fabric. Here, that same trip, I found some gorgeous embroidered fabric, and it's just this floral image, and I added some gold detailing at the top. Then here I created a tag, and I made a pocket in the little center, and then on the back it says, "A fairy is a," and you can just define what a fairy is to you. So I thought that was really cute. I wanted this whole journal to have the fairy theme throughout, since that is what I love doing. My favorite part of anything is always the decorating aspect. So I thought I'd decorate my journals a little bit more. Here, I'm not sure if you can see, I created a little tag and I made a pocket on the tag, and then here with vellum, I passed it through my typewriter, and it says, "How lovely to be a fairy in a magical world," and it also has some gold leaf paint on the sides, just to give it a little bit more of a magical feel to it. As always, an envelope in the center. This is something that is really exciting, that is new. I created a fairy wing, and this was completely inspired by that Fairyopolis book that I have mentioned before. I'll link the video below, but it's just a little card that has a fairy wing sample included, and I thought that was genius, and so I decided to make my own. I added some gold paint on the sides. In my typewriter, I wrote "extremely delicate," and I sewed all of it just so that it's a little bit more secure. So you can journal on the back and then have your fairy wing sample on the front. Here's a pocket with one of my little clipboard papers. I call them my clipboard papers because I was inspired by a clipboard when making this. I was looking like late at night for some Pinterest ideas on how to make a clipboard for my craft room, and I don't know why, but I decided, why don't I make a paper clipboard? So this is some cloth that I had lying around, some tracing paper, which you can actually write on, and then you can journal on the front and on the back. It makes it look a lot cuter. This is something new that I also tried out. I tea-dyed some envelopes, but unfortunately the glue, I guess the tea and the coffee it just didn't mix well with the glue, with the adhesive that was on the envelope, so it came apart, and so I refolded it. I stitched it up so that it would actually close, and then I decided to add a fabric pocket on the back, and then you have the envelope pocket on the front. I tea-dyed some book pages as well, and I created a little tag that also serves as a pocket, and on the back you can journal. This theme is a little bit more magenta and green. I might fast forward through some of the pages that don't have any embellishing, just so that this video isn't 40 minutes long. Here's another one of those little pins. I've created a little tiny fairy tag. This is vellum. I was inspired by Nik the Booksmith's tracing paper, like tracing window pockets, and so I used vellum on here, and then I stamped it, and I used my mother's amazing idea of using the tea bag. I use them for my embellishing to create cute little ruffles that I've seen so many wonderful ladies in the junk journal community. They create beautiful ruffles, and I thought it was a great idea to use your tea bags. That way you recycle. You know, I'm all about recycling. Here's another pocket and another one of my paper clipboards. Here is an envelope, a fabric envelope on the front and on the back. This is something cool. I came up with this at like 2 in the morning. And I created a little fairy notepad. So here I just sewed on some gold and brown thread to tip in, and then it's on the bottom, it's hidden, and it says a little fairy notepad that I used my typewriter on vellum, and I just glued it on there. So it's kind of secretive, and then it's just a cute little notepad that I used my leftover tea-dyed paper with. This is another one of those embossed fabric pockets, and in here it's a piece of paper that I created a pocket, a fabric pocket, and on the back you can journal. Here's another pocket. This is a tag, but oh, you can write on both sides. So it's a little flip out of a tag. So you have more room to write than if it was just one tag. Moving on to the next one. So these are the papers. This is another one of those like fabric tip-ins. You can add a picture and then journal on the back. Here is a fabric tip-in where I created an envelope, but this time I made the pocket with paper instead of fabric. And then on the front, I created a little fabric stamp I thought was really cute. And then you can fill it in with whatever you'd like. I just thought the colors went really well together. This one's the next one. For this one, I wanted to go with a little bit more of a vintage and rose brownish kind of color scheme. This is cool. I added some lace on the bottom. I had a ribbon on the bottom. This is a pocket, and then this is also a pocket in the back. So here's just a cute little tag, a tag flip out, and one of my paper clipboards. I loved how this pocket turned out. Here is a fabric tuck spot. I added some burlap on there. And then here's a tag that I made using my leftover tea bags, and then I tea stained some fabric and I glued it on top of a tag just to give it a little bit more of a rustic look to it. In the back pocket, I just collaged I made a pocket with some paper, and in here it's a little book that says kindness is, and you can just journal in there whatever you think kindness means to you. And then here it's another fabric tip-in where you can add a picture and then can journal on the back. Sticking to the same like red and green theme. This kind of looks Christmassy, but in a romantic way. And then the last one of the standard size journals is this one. This is actually fabric that I sewn onto the cover. I just liked how the fabric paired with the piece of paper, and it feels really nice to touch it. Here's the front. Here I made a lace text spot, and I made this little stamp. And in here I've included a tag where I sewn in some fabric, made it a tip-in. You can journal or include little pictures. This is cool. This is a tracing paper pocket, kind of like the ones I haven't been including. And then on the back I made a paper pocket, and then on here I used some leftover tea-dyed paper. I've added fabric, some floral fabric, and then I created a little tiny text spot on top of that. I like creating little little cards and little tags that serve as double purposes, so as a tuck spot and also as a place to write. And then here, this is a piece of ephemera that I've had in my collection that I've been hoarding, and I thought it would look perfect in here. And it kind of gives a hint as to what this is. So this is like a little mini diary. I actually sewed it through the sewing machine, and I used some of the leftover pieces of paper that I had. So you have your little mini flip book / diary in the back. So that was it, you guys. Like always, I like to include different colors, since I know some of you like the fairy theme and some of you like a little bit more vintage or a little bit more girly and feminine. I will link my Etsy shop below if you'd like to check these out in more detail, and I hope this inspired you to go out of your comfort zone and create your own TN junk journal using the papers and ephemera that you have at home. So thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other 2 videos where I show the other journals that I created in different sizes, and as always, I hope your day is filled with peace and love. Bye-bye.